always remain, keep a level of professionalism during this because we don't know where the video might end up. We want to represent not only ourselves but the community as a whole, as an upstanding community. You know what I'm saying? So if you wouldn't say it in a corporate meeting, let's not say it here, just for future reference. Okay. With that being said, the ground rules are kind of been established. Oh, one more thing. Uh, Hold your questions until we get to the end of like a topic, right? So if I'm, or you just wait for me to say, do you have any questions? Reason being is that when people start trying to interrupt with questions in the heat of the moment, it kind of interrupts the flow of the lesson, which is, cool. Write the question down and then we'll bring it up at the end or at the end of whenever I ask for questions. That way we can keep moving very fluidly. Okay. Um, Now, before I begin, is there any questions regarding what we are going over today? Going once, going twice. All right,
I
three
kind of
times
had one.
sold.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I
What's up,
had
buddy?
one. How do you not only deal with small conflict when trying to assess what we did wrong with the situation, but how do you also determine whether or not I don't really want to say fault because it's a whole moving puzzle piece. There's no one person at fault. Typically, in a scenario where I'm at fault or my guys are at fault, it ends up being my fault anyways because I wasn't paying enough attention. But how do you direct criticism to people without sounding like a cock and while also just being calm and diffusing at the same time?
Oh,
Like
okay.
for
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. Go
oh no,
ahead.
you're good. I just had a situation where I felt frustrated because I had two guys that I thought, the whole fire team was pushing. We're pushing through this tree line. You know, I look at the map. We're good. 20 seconds later, in a critical moment when we're about to push in, I look at the map again, and these two guys are somehow pinned off, like in the woods against these buildings in a firefight that I like had no idea even started. And so, from my point of view, I felt like, yeah, any firefight you guys get in, we're in it because you're close enough and we know about it. But yeah, it. I was told you can't dictate when they get into a firefight and whatnot. It was just it got hostile, and I felt like I couldn't air my criticisms without being a
Oh,
dick
okay.
or being an
Yeah, no.
egoist.
So essentially, what you would do, right? And this is just my 2 cents, right? Is if you are trying to constructively criticize somebody, you always give them props for what they did right first, right? The reason being is because if you come at me like any other man or woman or human being, and the first thing you tell me is what I'm doing wrong, I'm instantly going to be defensive. But if you say, "Hey, pest, hey, I liked your initiative. I liked your violence of action. I liked how you took the fight to the enemy. However, I would like to make a recommendation, and this is just from my point of view. I believe that and X Y Z 1 2 3, right? And you don't say right anything negative personally about that individual, right? You're not trying to insult the individual, right? You're attacking the problem, not the person, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's the perfect answer I needed because this weekend felt really chaotic and I could tell I was getting frustrated. And at a certain point, I was not approaching criticism correctly. And I could tell that I was part of the problem. And so it's one of
As
those
long as you
things
can
that,
do some
how
self
do you,
reflections and see that, hell yeah.
how do you navigate that? And so just that approach of start with positivity. I'll do that. Thank you.
All
Yeah, yeah, of
right,
course.
I'll try it that way.
Yeah.
Just in
Um,
the moment when you're frustrated, it's like, come on, guys, what the fuck
well,
just
you
happened there?
always. So
But
this will be the last. This will
and
be
to
my last
breathe.
point, and then we'll kick the thing. My last point is this: is you always start with yourself. You always ask, what could I have done better, and did this occur because of me, right? And if you can recognize within yourself that yeah, you did play a role somehow in it, and you can pinpoint that, then you can rectify yourself, and that way when people start to like we'll call it fire back at you, it's not going to make you defensive because you've already recognized it within yourself, so it's not going to come across as like offensive to you, if that makes sense. That's how I would do it. Start with yourself. Start looking yourself in the mirror. What could I have done better? And from there, right, then you can move on to okay, now how can I address everyone else? But all right, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and pull up to chapter one of the. I'm using the Marine Corps Rifle Platoon. I'm biased. I am, that's just my background. But this also will apply to really everything else within Bellum. All right, so the rifle platoon, as that is what we're operating in. So we essentially all know that you have a platoon commander, and you got a platoon sergeant. You have a 1-6, a 1-7, and then 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, so on and so forth. All right. So the way this would work is at the top of this hierarchy is going to be the platoon commander. All right. So the PL. And so with that being said, what you need to do is you need to define, you need to address what is my job of the platoon commander or the PL, and what can I expect of somebody who is over me as a platoon commander or PL. And this is, I'm not going to read it verbatim, but I am going to hit certain bullet points that are going to be huge when it comes to like when it comes to Bellum um, specific things, right? So I'm going to read it real quick. So you're going to conduct the tactical training of the rifle platoon. Like, honestly, not really Bellum related. If you have that within your own units or milsims or clans, go ahead. We'll move on to the second bullet point. Direct and control the tactical employment of the rifle platoon in combat and training operations through use of important appropriate troop leading procedures. So this part right here is what I want to highlight. Direct and control the tactical employment of the rifle platoon. And the way you do that is you lean heavily into your 1-7, into your platoon sergeant, as well as your squad leaders, right? Remember, you trying to herd 40 plus other individuals as one person and one mic and one brain and only one screen to look at what's happening on the battlefield and can only be in one place at one time, it would be incredibly difficult for you to actually have command and control at a level at which it is efficient for that large of a force. So you really lean onto those other individuals in leadership positions that are in the trenches, right? You are supposed to be at the point of influence, and your squad leaders and sometimes your platoon sergeant need to be at the point of friction. And we'll talk about that a lot more later on. But if you want to write anything down so far, put point of influence versus point of friction. All right, next, prepare and revise estimates of the situation continually during the conduct of operations in order to more effectively accomplish a tactical mission, right? So at the platoon commander level, you don't really have a company command in Bellum, so you are the one that pushes out the assigned tactical missions. So you need to essentially, instead of you preparing and revising estimates of the situation, your squad leaders need to be pushing this to you, and then you do it at a bigger level, and you're going to continue to run these revisions and preparations during the fight. Okay. Coordinate the employment of the rifle platoon with adjacent units as appropriate, with units supporting the platoon mission. This is huge. I'll give you an example. Bravo 1 server, second round. I was running platoon commander as 1-6. Iceman was running platoon sergeant as 1-7. And we utilized and we leaned on each other. I told, hey, 1-7, Iceman, I need you to take over and control the fires of 1-1 and 1-2, as they are going to be the base of fire for the maneuver, which would be 1-3. So he stayed with the base of fire. I went with the maneuver. And because there's only two people in the leadership role of the platoon, which would be the platoon commander and the platoon sergeant, when we go to squad comms, it's not messing with our ears how much comms are coming through. Me and him can talk directly with no breaks in the communication, right? So it's very easy for us to, right, to essentially push and pull, right? Ted and Ting. If you want to write another thing down, the supported unit and the supporting unit, right? And so now myself as 1-6 and Iceman as 1-7, we are together coordinating the employment of the rifle platoon. And we are also utilizing the appropriate units that support the platoon's mission, i.e. like 1-4 being the weapons squad. And how would we disseminate those guys, and how do we attach those guys to the appropriate people? This one, ensure the timely requisition. I would probably just keep asking my squad leaders, hey, what your squad ammo counts look like? And then how many guys you got, realistically. Next one, ensure the first echelon of don't need to worry about that. Supervise, don't need to worry about that. Enhanced combat effort, don't need to worry about that, right? So if you were to screenshot, write down, take a picture of, I would 100% knock out this portion right here of the second bullet point, the third bullet point, and the fourth one for sure. Okay. Moving on. So the rifle platoon commander is assisted in his duties by the rifle platoon sergeant, right? And this is what the platoon sergeant or 1-7 is going to be doing. He is going to do everything the platoon commander tells him to do. right? In this instance, it was like, hey, 1-7, this is 1-6. I need you to take over all the fires coordination for 1-1 and 1-2 as well as 1-4. All right, good to go. Roger that, right? You are going to assume the command in the absence of the platoon commander, right? Your 1-7 should be just as competent as your 1-6, because if 1-6 dies, goes AFK, has to, for whatever reason, whoever is the 2-man, the next man up, who lead the platoon needs to be lit the same type of person, like both tactic, like, or even better sometimes, right? Maybe someone who got the PL position selected it first before, objectively the smarter guy or whatever you want to call it. And you have to be ready to take over if necessary. Assist in all aspects, supervision, control platoon. Perform, don't really need to worry about that one. 4th bullet point. Don't really need to worry about the 5th one. Kind of, sort of, right? You're going to help with round counts. Don't really need to maintain a casualty record or medical evacuation of casualties, since Bellum doesn't have that yet. The platoon sergeant has a little bit more harder of a role, because not only are you having to know everything the platoon commander is having to know and do, but you have to think ahead of what the platoon commander is going to need and ask for to have it ready and prepared. That way it's already done, and it makes the job so much easier. So platoon sergeant, there's a lot of the behind the scenes work. And if you don't have a good platoon sergeant, the platoon will struggle. All right. Oh, that's amphibious operations. So do I have any questions so far about the platoon commander and the platoon sergeant? Anything so far?
I have a question about the TED and TING.
Ted and Ting, yes, send it.
Where does those acronyms come from? Because I know support element and assault element, and I feel it's the way you explain it, it's pretty much the same. But why do you call it TED and TING? Is there a specific reason, or it's just your lexicon?
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, you kind of be like lexicon. So reason being is like when you have. One second. Can I make this any bigger? How do I make this bigger? Sorry, hold on. This is for our campaign. So you have the support. Oops. TED unit, and then you have the support. Ting unit. You see the difference right there? I don't know if you can see that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's literally all it is.
Right.
Supported being the maneuver or the assault, right? It's the same as the assault element. And then the supporting
Alright.
unit is going to be literally the support element. It's just an easy way for people to kind of get in their head like a relationship between two people. Ted and Ting, they're brothers. Ted is always going to be the guy running into the fray. Ting is always going to be the dude watching from afar, making sure no one hurts his brother when he runs to the fray. That's it.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks.
Perfect. Any other questions for platoon commander, platoon sergeant at all before we go on to squad leader?
Let me just throw this out there. I'm just curious. Why do you think that they named the platoon leader and sergeant 16 and 17? Kind of think it would.
So if you do, it's just numbers, right? So obviously,
Yeah, no, I know, but it just seems odd.
well, because if you have first platoon, first squad, there's 1-1. First platoon, second squad, and you understand that.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, fuck, dude, we can just gunny
I would
Google
think
that
of
right
another
now.
name for it. That's all I'm thinking. Like
Oh, okay. I mean, so
command or something,
we call it actual. So we have actual and Bravo. So I only reference it as 1-6 and 1-7 because people in Bellum do, and I'm trying to speak, Bellum language and jargon.
Right.
But at least in the Marine Corps, our platoon commander, the call sign is 1 actual. If you're first platoon commander, if you're second platoon commander, you're 2 actual, right? Third platoon, 3 actual, and then if you are the 2IC or the Bravo or the second in command, you're the platoon sergeant. You're 1 Bravo, 2 Bravo, 3 Bravo, and then you have 1-1, 1-2, 1-3. I don't know. I might start referencing it as 1 actual and 1 Bravo, and then like, oh, maybe it catches on. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I couldn't tell you.
So let me ask you one more then. So suppose a squad is in trouble. Okay, should it be up to the squad leader of another squad to decide hey, let me go over there to support them, or should that be something that should come from the platoon leader?
Can you say that one more time for me? Sorry.
If another squad is in trouble, they're needing help or they need to retreat or whatever the case may be, and say my squad heard them saying that they were in trouble on the radio or they're being attacked, should I go ahead and initiate going over to assist them, or is that something that should actually come from the platoon leader?
It's going to be something that is going to be based on the task and purpose, which and the commander's intent as well as the end state, and that will come in later on. It's a good question. It's a solid question, but that question requires a lot of known variables that right now we don't have to play off of at the moment because every situation is going to be different. Does that make sense? It could be a good idea in one scenario, but it could be a terrible idea in another.
Right. But they got a
Um,
good platoon leader.
Yeah, for real.
Being able to watch the map like that and decide, hey, you should go over and support them, or no, because I want you to stay strategically where you are.
Yeah, it'll depend. Let's see, what do we got? Anything else for platoon commander, platoon sergeant before we move on to the squad leader?
I piggyback off that real quick. War.
Yep.
When it comes down to something like that, as Forrest said, it's very situational. You could have a fire team out there engaging a squad that's inflicting casualties, or you could have, the entire enemy platoon, right? That is where you have to establish communication with higher, figure out what they want to do, what they know, what you know, and play off of that. Communication is the biggest thing in that moment.
Yep. Absolutely. What else we got, gents? What else we got? Anything?
I got. Oh no.
Go ahead.
What's up?
Go first, KB. Go first, KB.
Okay, yeah. How much of a difference in, I guess, doctrine do you think should matter for the other teams, for AZ and Satyr? Do you think the stuff we're doing is general?
Yeah, so it is general, right? So these billets, right? These billets are they span across all three factions, right? Because the reason I say that is because every faction has these billets. Now, when it comes to doctrinal tactics, that's different. Command relationships and responsibilities remain the same. Does that track with you?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, all right, cool. Did someone else have one before KB went, I think?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like people have to be careful though, at least in this setting of this game. Like there can be times people get caught because something happens and then they ask the platoon lead what they should do, and rather than doing the most obvious thing themselves. I feel like I've definitely played with some people who are like, I'm under contact, what should I do? You should probably be shooting back and playing for better positioning, or pulling back to the rest of the platoon. Because I feel like there's people who are definitely like too far in the other direction as well, where it's like, because my platoon leader tells me where to stand, I don't have to think for myself.
It's
That's
lack of it's lack of critical thinking and initiative. So the way we go about that things is we call it decentralized command, and essentially, right? And I don't want to get too much into the weeds of this because this goes right into the last thing we're going to talk about. The last big thing we'll talk about tonight, which is essentially commander's intent and end state, and then what that looks like and what that is for and how that is used to win the fight, or at least when you don't know what to do, there's something that you have been told on what you're trying to accomplish. But we'll get into that later. We'll move on to essentially the last two leadership positions, which is the squad leader and the fire team leader. And these two positions are literally the same thing, just with more people or less people underneath them, right? So the squad leader is going to carry out the orders issued by the platoon commander. You can skip this one because this is not real life. However, in combat, they're also responsible for the tactical employment, fire discipline, fire control, and maneuver of their squads. They will take position where they can best carry out the orders of the platoon commander and observe and control their squads. This piece right here, the last sentence, is where I need everyone to lock in. Squad leaders there's a time and place to lead from the front, and there's a time and place to be the puppet master. 100% lead from the front when you know that it is relatively safe. However, you need to be the puppet master and be at the point of influence. So think of the point of influence being the puppet master, and use your fire team leaders to be the ones at the point of friction. And they are your gun. They are your weapon system. A good squad leader should very rarely ever have to pull the trigger. You should walk away with almost all of your ammo after a firefight, after engagement. That's how literal it is. Because you should be using your brain, your eyes and ears, and your mouth to communicate to the fire team leader for trigger pulling, right? Because if you die, right, assuming you're the most competent individual, or not the most competent, but the most tactically trained and experienced individual in that unit, if you die, you just lost, your squad just lost a large amount of experience and knowledge and wisdom on tactical execution. So
not for just that firefight either, for the rest of the deployment.
Yeah, with the rest of the deployment, and in Bellum's case, right, the rest of that engagement until the squad leader can make it all the way back to the squad. So squad leaders, if you like playing squad leader, don't play all the way up. Don't be a coward and play all the way in the rear. Find a healthy medium, right? Now for this one, you are responsible for the tactical employment, fire discipline, control, and maneuver of your squad. That is what I'm referencing with your fire team leader, right? You give your fire team leader his tactical task or his command, and he will then utilize the things that you have taught him or you guys talked about to use the fire discipline and fire control and the maneuver of the squad, right? Again, all falling back on you are the point of influence. The fire team leader should be at the point of friction. I'm reading the side chat, and it says, Fractured says, something important I've learned when communicating intent, speak to effect desired, not task desired. Yep, exactly. Yes, exactly what Fracture's saying. Again, that will fall into essentially task and purpose, as well as commander's intent and his end state. Fire team leader is the same thing as a squad leader, except now you have individuals and not teams. That's the only difference, individuals and not teams. And in this instance, fire team leader, you are at the point of influence in your bubble, and your individual team members are going to be at the point of friction. See, it's like a big trickle down effect. All right. That was super easy because they almost are the same thing. Do we have any questions about squad leader or fire team leader roles and responsibilities? Okay, cool. We'll move on then. All right. So those 4 individuals in a nutshell cover the majority of all the leadership or key leadership roles within Bellum, right? Now, as long as we have an understanding and you can reference these things back, I'll put this one as well. This is the Marine Rifle Squad publication. You will be able to understand how to employ your individuals effectively. Obviously, the Marine Rifle Squad pub or the Marine Corps publications are not the end-all be-all. They're not gospel. There are plenty of other publications across the entire lexicon and library of the world with tactics and techniques and procedures and SOPs that you can utilize. However, this is the one that we know to be tried and true. The Army has one as well, very similar. Instead of 3 fire teams, they operate 2. And Bellum is the same way. They operate 2 fire teams instead of 3, but the concepts all remain the same. All right, so moving on. We are then going to push into what command leadership relationships look like. All right, this is where we can get into the nitty-gritty of when is the appropriate time to counter an order given. Okay, so let's call on the class. Someone give an example of when you should say no to an order.
Gonna get you and everyone killed. Does not really serve a purpose. It wants
When you
kind
have
of like
better
an effective
information.
measure of
Start doing
achieving
open
whatever the
field.
goal is.
Whenever it's illegal or unethical.
All right, illegal or unethical. I'm reading the chat here. It says if it's illegal, I heard illegal and unethical. If it's useless, gets us effed up. Okay. Anyone else? I'll take like 2 more.
In the aviation world, we usually call it like TAC lead. So whoever's got the situation on the tactical event that's taking place, and if you see something that requires a decision immediately to be made, that might be a situation you do it.
Yep. Okay. I think I'll take that. All right. So it's a gray area, right? It's a gray area because on the one hand, right, from a legal standpoint in real life, if it's immoral, illegal, or unethical, you have the ability to say no. However, if anything outside of that, you have to do it in real life. In the video game, however, in Bellum, it's different. It falls a lot more on the tact side that he was talking about, where whoever has the most situational awareness should have more sway in the conversation of what's happening. But if you guys are not pushing information up and down the chain and across the unit, right? So imagine you have a plus sign, right? With the platoon commander at the top, and the squad leader is kind of in the middle. So we have PL or PC, and then PSG, SL, SL. We all see this. I think you already. Wow. We all know I'm going with this, right? So you have communication laterally, which is between squad leaders. You have communication vertically, right? Which is up the chain and down the chain. It takes everybody to effectively communicate in that little triangle in order for everyone to freaking understand what's happening. Because if squad leader 1 sees something but doesn't relay that information or mark his ATAC appropriately, the platoon commander and platoon sergeant cannot give orders or adjust the plan based off of the new information given or the new information received from that SL. So here's an instance where the SL would be wrong. If the SL has newer information, acts on it without communicating anything to the platoon commander, platoon sergeant, or other squad leaders, he's now isolating himself. He is wrong because now no one else in his unit knows what's happening or can help him, right? Now, if he communicates and he says, hey, SL2, SL3, platoon sergeant, platoon commander, this is the situation. I am in an immediate danger. If I stay here, I will die. I need to leave. Now, if the platoon commander and you and the platoon sergeant, you generally trust each other, right? And he's not an asshole, he'll be like, yeah, bro, for sure, get out of there. If he's kind of like, no, you're going to stay and fight, it's one of those things where you're going to have to, again, trust. You have to trust that he knows what he's doing. If he tells you to break contact, trust that he knows what he's doing and he's trying to save your life. If he tells you to stay, trust that he has someone coming to help you, save you, or that you are sacrificing yourself for the greater cause, right? And you may be the only thing that is preventing the enemy from overrunning friendly positions in other terrain features, right? So that is why communication and command leadership relationships are important, right? Needs to be clear, concise. You can't be telling, as a PL, you cannot be giving me a whole novel and thesis on what's happening in front of you, right? Give me a salute report. As a PL, I should not be giving you a whole novel and thesis of what I want you to do. I just need you to give my intent and my end state. That's it. Super simple, right? So moving on from that, that is the command relationships, at least as at a baseline, at a very entry level, that is what it should look like. Okay. Do you have any questions about command or leadership relationships? Okay, cool. The other thing I want to tack on to that, my last save round for that topic, is arguing about a command in Bellum is probably not the best time to do it because now you're clogging comms. And you're kind of just tearing the cohesion of the unit apart. And at that point, people kind of just say, F this. It's not worth playing anymore because my unit doesn't even want to play together. I've seen it happen before, plenty of times. Just if I'm told to do something, even if I disagree with it, I have to remember that, hey, like what's more important right now? My ego or, the cohesion of the unit? At the end of the day, it's just pixels on a screen. It ain't that deep. Okay. All right. So if there's nothing about command relationships, we can push from there. Now this one, task and purpose, what it means and how it helps us. Okay. So I wish I would have a whiteboard because it's easier to do that. But what we're going to do instead is I'm going to go into, I'm already in, let's go to Google Docs real quick. Let's go Google Docs, bada bing, bada boom, new doc. All right. Let's zoom in here. Okay. So you have something called the task and purpose, right? So task, right? A task sounds something like this. And this is my shorthand, so bear with me. On order. First squad. Destroy enemy bunker in vicinity of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in order to allow friendly freedom of movement in the AO. Mission has priority. That's my shorthand, right? And what that means, right? On order. So when I say so, first squad, I want you to destroy an enemy machine gun bunker or an enemy bunker in vicinity of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in order to allow freedom of movement in the AO. Mission has priority. Okay, now we're going to break this down Barney style. We're going to break this down so everyone can understand what's happening. This is the mission statement for the platoon or for the squad, right? So the task, right? What you are doing. Who, we'll say when. We'll start with the 5 W's, right? Do we all know what the 5 W's are? Who, what, when, where, why?
Who, what, where, when, why, and how.
Who, what, when, where, why, right? This gives you everything you need to know. All right. So on order, first squad, destroy an enemy bunker in vicinity in. Okay. That is your who. That is your what. That is your when. And that is your where. In order to allow, that is your why. That is your purpose. Okay.
I always just say because I said so.
Yep, that works too. So why is this important? Why am I bringing this up? What's in it for me? What's the WIFM, right? What's in it for me? Well, what's in it for you is that this tells you everything you need to know that if you can't get comms with your platoon commander, when, okay, you said, I see no when, it's right here on order. So when I tell you to. It could also look like this. No later than, we'll say 1200. That's another when, right? But most times in Bellum, it'll be on order. But you're not going to get this in depth. So what would this look like in Bellum, though? Like, how could we make this translate to Bellum? So it would look something like this. 1-1. Suppress northern tree line. So 1-2 can flank from the east. That is Bellum talk. That is how we just translated real life military tactic or real life military jargon, lexicon, the task and purpose into Bellum talk or gamer talk, right? 1-1. Oh yeah, on command. Thank you, Ice. So on command. 1-1 suppress the northern tree line so 1-2 can flank from the east. Now, let's break this down. Someone tell me the who.
First, 1-1.
Right? 1-1. Okay. All right. Someone tell me what the what is.
Suppress northern tree line.
Yep, that's what they are doing. We know when. When are they supposed to do this?
On command.
On command. Right. We see where this is going. Like, I don't need to insult your intelligence anymore. Right. We have the where, the northern tree line. And we finally have the why. Why does 1-1 need to suppress northern tree line? So that 1-2 can flank from the east. Right? That is Bellum talk. Now, this is easy. We all understand this. This is super easy to do. Any one of us in here, any one of us in here right now could pull this out of their ass as a platoon commander, and you can swap this out. Instead of 1-1, you can say Bravo team. Say you're the fire team. Say you're the squad leader. So that Alpha can flank from the east. Okay. Now let's go into the varsity level stuff. Let's go into the things that you guys were asking me at the very beginning of this, right? You guys were asking, well, what do I do? You know, if what was that question? Man, who remembers that question? You're essentially asking me what to do, right? If you don't know what to do. Someone was asking. They were like, what do I do if I don't know what to do? I don't remember who it was, but we'll push. All right. So this is where you have a commander's intent and his end state. The commander's intent is this. The commander's intent is going to be first platoon has, we'll say, cleared Suicide Forest. We all know Suicide Forest. We all know that forest in Bellum. No? Okay. It's okay. Commander's intent has cleared Suicide Forest. For, I don't know, follow-on actions. Sure, whatever. That's very, if you know what I'm talking about, don't judge me on this. I'm shooting from the hip here. The end state, all of first platoon is set into a defense in Suicide Forest facing to the west. All right. So, as a platoon commander, I need to let you as a platoon know what our mission is, which is this. I then now need to tell you my intent for the platoon. So we know what we need to do. This tells us there are 5 W's, but this is getting into the details of what that looks like, right? My intent for the platoon is that we need to go into Suicide Forest, we need to clear it out, and then we're going to wait for follow-on actions, okay? And the thing about this, at the end of all of this, at the end of the clearing of the Suicide Forest, what I want it to look like is I want that first platoon to set into a defense. We have our ace reports. We're ready to go for follow-on tasking, but we're going to be facing to the west, right? So think of it like this. This is the start point, and then the end state is the end point. With this information, with these things right now, you as a squad leader, in the absence of the platoon commander, or you're not sure what to do, you should be able to accomplish the mission purely off of motivation, initiative, and being able to essentially be like, this is what this should look like. I may not know the exact details of what the plan is, but I know at the end of it all, and I can't talk to anybody. No one is here to save me. I know this is my mission. This is what it should look like when I'm done with my mission. That helps develop your course of action through the friction, right? It's decentralized command. I don't need someone to hold my hand every step of the way to accomplish the mission. I know what the mission looks like in the beginning. I know what I need to do in the middle, and then I know what it should look like at the very end. Therefore, I should be able to just take this and run with it. Have I lost anybody yet? Be honest.
I'm still here.
Cool. All right, cool. So it sounds like everyone's still tracking. Awesome. Sounds good. All right. So with that being said, we can essentially kind of prac app this a little bit. Quickly, let's try this. We'll say, all right, Soul, I want you to throw out a quick task and purpose. It doesn't have to sound military. Just give me a task and a purpose. Give me something I need to do and why I need to do it. Make it within Bellum.
Wait, within Bellum?
Yeah, within Bellum. You're my
Okay.
platoon commander, and I am 1-1.
Sure. 1-1, I want you to move to the northern tree line to set up an LPOP, or yeah, sure. I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be the whole unit if it was an LPOP.
Okay, give me. So you're missing one thing. You hit everything else, but you're missing
on
one thing.
command. On my
Yeah,
command.
you don't even. Yeah, you don't have to say that. You can just say you can use condition set based tactics, or you can use time based tactics, right? So time is like at this time, which is like on my command, right? Because that happens at a specific time. When you give that command, that happens at a specific time. Or you can use condition set, right? Condition set looks like this: 1-1 upon 1-2, suppressing the western tree line, flank east to clear the enemy. Mission has priority. Right? So now condition set, meaning a domino effect. You aren't going to begin your task, your mission, until the guy before you finishes his or starts his. Does that make sense? Yep, that goes for everybody. Condition set based tactics work way better in very friction dense environments than time based tasks. Reason being is because the enemy has a vote when it comes to time, because time is equal to everybody. Nobody can speed him up or slow him down or stop him, right? But I can stop you. I can slow you down, right? You can instead say, upon this action happening, you conduct this action. That we can control. That we have the ability to mess with and adjust on the fly. So try and stay away from time-based tasking statements. In 5 minutes, go clear the forest. Well, what if within that 5 minutes, I just got hit with an enemy machine gun and I'm in an ambush? I no longer can conduct my mission. Instead, it should be upon reaching checkpoint 3 or upon reaching the western tree line, clear the forest, clear that tree line, clear that hill. Does that make sense? Let's see. Do we have any questions about task and purpose, commander's intent, and his end state? No?
Sort of question. We were talking just a moment ago about when to ignore an order. Is it typically okay to ignore an order when you are confident that you can accomplish the commander's end goal at the sacrifice of the initial task? If you know there's a reason the initial task is either suicidal or won't work for the reason the commander thinks it will?
Yeah, so that one is one of those questions where I have to hit you with the good old reliable situation dictates, right? If this is a time sensitive thing where you don't have time to route it up the chain and get permission for it and do it, my personal opinion, as long as you communicate to me what's happening and what you're about to do, I can flex off that quickly and make adjustments on the fly. I'll get to your question real quick, Fractured, 1 second. If you don't tell me and you just do it now, like in my previous example, if you get enough troops in contact, and I don't know what you did or where you went, I can no longer get command support for you because you didn't tell me where you were going. You didn't tell me your plan. So I don't know how to help you. I don't even know where you are outside of what's on the ATAC, but even then, all I see is your position, your 2 fire team leaders' position. I don't know squat. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely, I would just make sure you communicate that. Now to Fractured's question, mission has priority. So mission has priority. So in the U.S. military, you have 2 types of priority: mission or time. Super simple. If mission has priority, I can take whatever steps I need to get the job done. If time has priority, time sensitive mission. I don't have time, right, to make sure I bound every or I cross every LDA doctrinally. I don't have time to doctrinally do this or I need to get there. I need to get there now. People are dying. If that makes sense. Right? All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, quick question. So, with like the end state of, say, clearing the suicide forest, would should the PL kind of say, like, before starting to issue the orders to particular squads, like when would they, like, how do you communicate that this is the desired end state before issuing the individual orders? Or maybe you don't.
Can you clarify for me your question?
Yeah, so the PL has this end state that they want everyone set up in Suicide Forest on the west, is that something that you would tell, like you would announce on PlatoonNet and say, hey, we want to clear this forest, and then say, okay, 1-1, to do that, 1-1, I need you to go north. 1-2, I need you to
Yeah, so you
suppress.
gave your question, your example, right? You gave an overarching mission for the platoon, right? Clear this forest, right? Now, so the mission is going to be for everybody, but you have something called the individual tasking statements. And I'll see if I can explain this. So it goes like this. Actually, hold on. I got you right now. Let me go into, I believe it's in Google Sheets. Is that what it's called? Google Sheets. Yep, sign in. Okay, we're gonna go here. We're gonna go to order template. All right. So this is what an order template actually looks like. I don't know if you guys can see this, but all of this. So your orientation. This is the template I use in all my schools. Right. You're talking about the mission, right? So all right. So mission. Saber 1-1 on order, capture bomb maker and bring back to the file for interrogation. No later than 2300 EST. Time has priority. All right, cool. Let's make this in Bellum terms. Let's say instead of Saber 1-1, we'll say I don't know, 1-1 on order, capture whatever, or clear Suicide Forest, like you said. 1-1 clear. Okay, SF clear Suicide Forest. Cool. In order to allow freedom of maneuver in AO, mission has priority. So 1-1 now has his mission. Okay. So this is what the my platoon commander is telling me. 1-1, this is your mission. Oh, cool. I write that down. Now what I need to go do is I need to go into my execution, and I'm going to go down to my individual tasking statements. Right. So I'll take this. I'll say Alpha Team, that's the unit, or Team 1, and he's going to be, and this will all be briefed prior to stepping, but you can also do this on the fly. Team 1, there'll be the assault element. So I'll put ASLT for the assault task. So I know that my mission is to clear Suicide Forest. How am I as a squad leader going to clear Suicide Forest? Well, I'm going to take first team, and I'm going to have them we'll say clear, same thing, same tactical task, clear Suicide Forest, IVO, and I'll give them a specific location. We'll say 1, 2, 3. That's the grid. And then whatever, in order to allow, okay. Team 2, they're going to be the supporting element. Suppress enemy IVO 1, 2, 3 in order to allow assault to clear objective. Okay. So what I did is I took my main mission for the main body. And then what I did is I'm like, all right, cool. Here is how I break down the individual tasking for them. And that is now their new mission. And if you look in the side chat, Iceman dropped you a link as well as how to plan. You have deliberate planning and rapid planning, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. I guess maybe I'm asking more about rapid planning.
Yeah, rapid planning. So you're kind of like, oh shit, like I need to do this now. That's literally simply saying, like in the very beginning, remember? Let's go back to here. Real quick. 1-1 flank left. So that 1-2 or 1-1 suppress, or first team suppress that hill. So the other team can flank from the east. Super simple. Just like that. Done. I need you to do it right now.
Okay. Yeah. So I think maybe the part that I'm like struggling with is the why there is still very like micro. Like at what point do all the squads know that our goal has maybe changed from capturing Suicide Forest to something else, like capturing school?
So it's implied tasking.
Okay.
You're talking big blue arrows. So that's going to come across from the platoon commander himself, right? So if you say you take Suicide Forest, boom, you take it, and then now it's like, well, what now? The platoon commander will say, all right, now our next objective, our fallen task is we need to go take the school. We need to go clear the school in order for us to set up a linear defense facing east to ambush the enemy.
Okay,
Or
and,
deny the
that's
enemy.
something that the platoon commander would talk about on platoon net.
Yes,
with all the SLs simultaneously.
Yeah,
Correct. You'll
the
hear
s-
a
yeah.
net call. Sorry, War.
No, you're good. The squad leaders will never tell the platoon what to do. The platoon commander remember everyone has a seat. They have their role to play. The platoon commander tells the platoon what to do. The squad leaders tell their squads what to do.
Cool,
and it
thanks.
just rolls from there. Yep. Any other questions? If not, we'll get into a TDG, and this will be a good one. All right, Cly, I know you probably have the server set up, but we're probably not even going to need it anymore, to be honest, man. I'm so sorry. He's gonna be like, "Fuck you, dude."
We're all in here, Double Dog. We're waiting.
Nah, I'm good. I'm just here. I'm able to unmute earlier just quickly to ask the question. So a situation came up in the last session where I was leading 1-3 and 1-4 was occupying a very similar batch of space, and we're very, very heavily intermingled. So the step I took was to ring it up to the platoon lead to say, "Hey, can you get 1-4 out of here because we're too mixed up?" But so this way we're not trying to command another squad as a squad lead. Does that sound appropriate, or what would you recommend?
Like you're telling him he needs to boot, suit, and boogie out of where you're at?
Basically, yeah, because they were catching up onto us as we kind of like was told hold.
He should recognize that where he's at probably is not the best place to be. He should also be able to communicate to you. Both of you should be able to communicate and recognize the situation. We're too close to each other. We need to disperse. One grenade, one rocket, one burst of a PKM, we're all dead. Right? That's
But
like
so the event was, I think I called over command or like in proxy, I think at the time, and nothing happened. Then would it be, does that sound like something that has to go through, platoon?
I mean, I would say it over platoon, because now the platoon commander would be tracking what's happening. Maybe he's monitoring the net. You're not directly asking for permission. Time sensitive. You need to do it now. You can then say it over the net, and he'll be able to hear it.
Or if I could for just a second.
Go ahead.
On that point. I think what like the situation that you brought up is already a failure on the leadership, because if 1-4 is already getting intermixed with you and it's causing problems for your squad, the platoon commander and the platoon sergeants already failed their job. Their job is to place the squads in good fighting positions to support the objective, and if they're not doing that, they've already like failed. The platoon commander and the platoon sergeant have already failed their responsibilities, or the squad leader's going OFP. So it's one of the two. But, yeah.
No, it was kind of like, I guess in that situation it was because I remember like when War was talking about how he was sending like 1-7 to monitor the support by fire, and that gave him like better control of the 4 squads. I think that was something that I should have done in like the forward backward kind of like 2 separate elements, where the majority of the time in that match 1-7 was very close to 1-6, instead of kind of like doing, let's just say, alternative kind of like splitting up positions to kind of like divvy up the job. I think that was one contributing factor. Okay, makes sense now. Thank you.
Tying into that, Cly, part of that's going to be, or tying into War Daddy's point on commander's intent, and then also with what Cly brought up here, getting intermixed, as a fire team lead or an SL, you notice something. Mission command. Let's say you have orders to move to X, right? You're on top of another squad, or you notice something like you don't have enough cover, concealment, you're in a bad position, fishbowl, you're in bad defilade, whatever. You get the point. As an SL, you have autonomy to correct that. Call up to higher, let them know what's going on, move your position. Big thing here, though, as long as that does not jeopardize you, your men, the mission, or your combat efficiency. Other than that, what has changed? Right?
Yep. But yeah, ultimately we worked it out. But like that was the initial kind of like that point of friction that I was kind of like wanted to explore here. But okay, yeah, makes sense.
Give me a second, gentlemen, while I try and there it is. Boom, open. All right, we're gonna play with this for a little bit. All right, we're gonna do what's called a TDG or tactical decision game. Okay. What this is going to consist of, essentially, boys and girls, is this is going to be where I'm going to give you guys certain parameters. At the end, well, before I go into that, I know it's a weeknight, it's a work night. It's already 9 p.m. Eastern. That's the end of the lessons themselves, right? So if you need to leave, if you need to hop off, right? By all means, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you coming here to hang out and learn some stuff. If you're staying, we're going to move into a quote practical application where it's going to be more test of the mind than it is how well you can hit W and left click. Okay. What's going to happen is we're going to separate into 2 teams. Okay. There's going to have the one team. Team A is going to stay here in training room 1. Team B is going to go down to training room 2. Right. I'm going to give you guys both the same mission. Right. And you're going to come up with your own plan of how, or the scenario. I'm going to give you the scenario, and you have to come up of what you're going to do. Right. I'm not saying you guys have to agree, but I want to break it up into smaller groups. That way it's not everyone. We don't have 1,000 people talking over everybody. Okay. So if you have note taking gear, Jesus Christ. If you have a paper and pen, if you want to write this down somewhere to help, I'll also type this up in the side chat right now for you guys. Please, or I'll do it in training general real quick. All right. So here's the situation. All right. Situation. And then I will leave the map up for reference. Okay. All right. So your friendly situation or your enemy situation. We'll just do general. That way it's storytelling, right? General. General situation. You are here. Oh, come on now. I want to let me click, guys. What do I got to do to click? No, see, now I'm all messed up. I had something cool for us to do, and it's not working. Okay. It's interactive. Manual. I'm cooked, guys. Shit. Is that it? Well, that's not good, huh? So I was trying to put a little what's the word for you guys? Little TCM markers on this thing.
Can you just draw on it?
No, but you know what I can do? Let me see if I have ops terms and graphics USMC. So easy because I can just go into images. We'll go here. And we're just going to save this real quick. Gallery screenshot. Just put friendly. Save. All right. Now let's go to snipping tool again. I apologize, guys. This is super unprofessional on my end. We'll go right there. Save this as
Man, you
enemy.
teach free classes. Don't worry about being unprofessional. We appreciate this a lot.
Well, thanks,
Creative.
Select images.
Don't give him any slack. He does this for work.
Hey, you. What the
Still,
hell?
being on
Hold
the
on.
receiving end is fucking cool.
Select images folder. I'm pretty sure. Was it not in pictures? Did I mess up, guys? Screenshots?
Go to home. Go to home, weirdo.
Thought you went to gallery.
Was
The
it in
fuck?
gallery?
Why does your computer do that?
Bro, you're telling. Good question. Next question, bro. Let's go here, actually.
Just download
So,
Linux.
I didn't see if you named the file, but you could just search maybe. With the,
F4.
gallery.
Or just save it to your desktop.
there you go.
Oh!
Good job.
Oh, the warm up has built-in icons already. You don't need to add that. If you go to the plus.
Well, that's
bar.
what I did.
Oh.
I can click in it and it ain't happening.
weird.
That's, yeah. So that's why I was like trying to select an image folder. Is it, oh, it's a, do I have to make it a PNG? Do you think that's what it is? Let's go to gallery. Let's go to, guys, I don't know what to do. Open
Hey,
file
Red, if
location.
you go to your top left where it says local mil X layers, right,
Yeah,
right
this
above
one?
that, there's another, yeah, above that, there's that one. Should be able to create a new layer.
New mil X layer, okay.
And then somewhere in one of those buttons, there's an edit function.
Import.
You need to make sure that it's
Oh.
editable.
This,
But that's where you need to go. I think that's it, yeah.
Settings.
Yeah, that's weird. I did what you
Oh,
did. Just
there.
went to image layers, added it, and I could go up to the corner.
You're
There you go.
good. Should be it.
Oh, it's working now.
Edit now.
Fucking warfighter.
Where did it go? Am I tripping? I drag and drop. That's not letting me drag it.
If maybe
Click and
maybe
then drop.
it's because you're
you have to click and
10,000
click on the
zoomed
map a
in.
second time.
Set it to manual.
Hey,
Set
Word
your
Daddy,
image
you
to
gotta
manual.
click it once and then click a second time on the map. Don't drag it.
Okay. Click it. Click it. You just set it to manual. Okay. Boom. Oh, thank you so much. I love you for that.
There we go.
All right. Let's go
With
to.
the no, they're not showing. Okay.
You got hostile. You're like, dude, this guy. All right, boys. All right.
It took me like an hour to figure this out my first time after watching you do it. So
Okay. All right. So here's the current situation. Can I not move this good? Oh, I can. Okay. This has contour lines on it, so you should be able to see it. All right. All right. This is where you're at. Enemies here. Enemies here. Okay. Your adjacent units. All right. All of these are squad size elements. Okay. So Bellum squad size elements. You are here. This is you. Okay. Does everyone see this? Everyone have a little screenshot. They see what they're seeing. Everyone good?
Yep.
good eyes.
All right. So you were tasked. You are to lay into an ambush on an enemy position to the west. You have started engaging the enemy to the west. As you're engaging the enemy to the west, you start getting engaged by an enemy to your north. You know for a fact that there are at least both squad size elements. There is a third squad, enemy squad, unaccounted for that you don't know is on the map. You have two friendly adjacent units annotated on the the screen in front of you. Contour lines are there. I will leave this up for the entirety of the time. You can take a screenshot if you'd like. And right now, you're starting to see that the enemy is giving you a run for your money, and you're starting to take numerous casualties to the north. You have 2 casualties from the northern enemy squad, and you have a single casualty from the western enemy squad. You are at yellow on ammo, meaning everyone is roughly at half of all ammo munitions. Okay. You have 2 lives left across, like everyone still has 2 lives left in your squad. The question now, and then we'll separate everybody. So we'll go from every other person will drop down to training 2. But the question now is, what do you as a squad leader choose to do? All right. And the purpose of this question is just putting you in a hard place. You're almost out of ammo. You're taking casualties fast. Friendly units are a little too far away to immediately help you, and there's a third enemy squad unaccounted for. And you have to choose what happens next, right? I don't need a full 5-paragraph order. I don't need anything crazy. All I need is, what is your next actions? What are your immediate actions in the moment to get out of there? Because you realize that you're about to be essentially mass cast. Okay, don't just say run away, right? Give an actual plan, right? You need to be tactical about this. Give an actual plan. So I'm going to call your name out. If I call your name out, drop down to training room 2 for me, okay? At 9:15, so roughly in 4 minutes, at 21:15 p.m. EST, time will start. You guys will get 10 minutes to develop a plan, and then you guys will be able to have 5 minutes to present it. So Hicks, drop down to training room 2, please. Gator, if you're participating, please drop down to training room 2. American Jedi, game time operator, Iceman, Turkey, Basic, Sita, Goblin Cleaver, Isbray, Lord Blue, Maple, Recipe, Sage, please drop down to training room 2.
Thought exercise. It's not in Bellum itself.
All right.
Did someone take a screenshot or something?
I sent it in the chat.
Okay. And that's on training general, or
training to like the
okay.
VC chat.
Yeah, I see it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody got thoughts right off the bat?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You assault, they're danger. They're so close to you that you're just gonna have to assault through. You're gonna have that squad.
Maybe smoke the area out if you have smokes. All back to
What's
the
the status of the
tree
northern
line
friendly squad?
behind you.
All right. So I've heard deploy smokes.
What was the status of the northern friendly
through.
squad?
I'm
Is
pretty
it
sure
mobile?
both friendly squads are not.
Basically, everybody's too far away.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
to
Too
you
far
need
away.
to take direct action. It is your squad is the blue dot or blue square in the center. You're 2 men down. You're yellow on ammo and equipment. You have 2 lives left.
I say, yeah.
And are we the only middle squad? Is what we are. We have friendlies on the outside. We are the middle.
We are the middle.
Yeah.
Our other squads are too far away and they got open danger areas. They cannot cross to us.
Yeah, there's another enemy squad out there. So really,
Yep.
it's kind of just throwing the dice and hoping that you're assaulting the squad that doesn't have another squad behind it. But it's a lot of open space trying to fall back. You're being exposed.
Well, okay, so let's look at this at the center. You know that other team is, directly to your west. That third squad could be to your northwest, up in that larger portion in the top left corner, down in the bottom left. I mean, shit, they could be down in the bottom right, across that ODA, hunkered down in that set of trees. That's the point. Fog of war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Immediately, we don't want our friendlies from the south shooting at us in the tree line, unless they know exactly where we are. And I cannot guarantee they know exactly where we are, but I can guarantee the northern group of friendlies can shoot into that tree line and know no one's going to get a hit by a friendly bullet. So that would be one thing to call out, is to have them on the northern side shoot into that suppressed forest and suppress them in the forest, at least draw some of the fire away from us.
Yeah, like at least if you move as our squad like a little bit to the south, then the northern enemy squad is less dangerous, right?
Yes, the northern enemy should be. We have taken 2 casualties.
Like you
from
can pull away from that one and then just assault to the west. Hopefully.
I think it's the best option. Because the only one would be like pop smoke, retreat to the south, southeast, but without knowing where the other squad is. So like
You're
if the
not
enemy squad's in that bundle, you're screwed.
You're not retreating to that ODA.
Yeah.
Literally the only option, and this is mainly due to the fact they're 100 meters away from you, like you're intermixed with them, is fragging out, suppressing online, and assaulting through.
Yeah,
and
that's
having that squad to the south lift and shift.
Exploit off of those frag grenades.
Yeah, it's
that's quite literally what I thought. Just expend what remaining MGM was left, have the squad to the south establish a base of fire to the west, so just essentially trap them and just push right at them.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are watching my stream, but essentially the immediate action drill is going to be suppressing, fragging, exploiting. The platoon leader, hopefully, or if you need to, because it is an immediate action, the squad leader is calling out to the squad leader for an immediate suppression, and then this squad leader is calling out the lift and shift as their elements pushing across. This squad up here definitely needs to push to where they can engage, so either this tree line or this tree line, just depending. They could send one fire team across, have two fire teams separated from each other, but still suppressing that northern threat. And that is taking all the heat off of these guys, hopefully.
You want to fix that northern unit in place.
Yeah, you want to fix gap. You want to fix every unit. That is the entire purpose. You want to fix them. So you're assaulting. This element should be suppressing and fixing, and this element is assaulting through and cleaning up. When this element reaches their LOA, so before they hit this tree line, so this tree line is basically their LOA, this element is going to be pushing up and getting online with this element so that they can become the support by fire element to fix this position so that this element can assault through.
Gotta.
I mean, that's my thought, guys. I mean, this is way too finicky to fuck with. Like, you're not pulling out because you have a giant ODA to your east and your south, and you're obviously not pushing through open terrain going uphill towards this enemy, right? So really the only true, like, and you're yellow on ammo, so you're not going to be able to draw out the firefight. Like, you have to find, fix, and finish quickly.
Add in smoke to the north, though, so we can actually get some cover from the north, because obviously we're getting shot from the north, so they must have some sight on us.
Ice, real quick, just because I believe I heard him say that under those situations, the two other troops are going to stay in place. So how would you go about it with that southern element not being able to move?
I mean, that's perfectly fine. They're not able to move because of this open danger area. So once the lift and shift happens and these guys reach their LOA, these guys have freedom of maneuver.
Yep. Then they move up. Gotcha.
That is the constraint, is that there's ODAs, right? And so that's when you have, both squads, or I'm sorry, both fire teams push down, one suppressing, and the other one. I put these two positions just due to the terrain. The terrain's super weird through here. Having one fire team bound across and having the other one stay here as their support by fire as they maneuver, and then having two different locations and basically splitting this element between not worrying about just two positions that they're having to engage, but they're worrying about three. And that really breaks down the cohesive suppressive fire that they can give our forces, right? But this is a very unilateral solution. Like, you're not breaking out of you don't have enough smokes across this ODA, and you don't have enough smokes across this ODA when these guys come behind you and shoot you in the back. You have to frag out and just shoot and move. You're going to take casualties.
Yeah,
but then again, you're in an L shape. You have to get out of the kill zone. And once you push into these guys are no longer, unless they're fucking.
They might. You never know.
Unless they're fucking bad guys. If it's a near peer threat, they're not going to fucking be shooting their own guys, unless it's Russia.
But, it is a Satyr versus Russia, or a Satyr versus Ranger. Good.
But
can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Bottom element, bottom squad
mm-hmm.
should move a 2-man fire team to the west to establish a recon element watching the river to make sure that third Russian squad doesn't come around and sweep the SBF from the south.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, there was no intel as far as how thick these trees are. And so let's say these guys are fucking good Marines or good soldiers, and you should be able to see this ODA from these trees. Should be able to. But yeah, I mean,
would
having your
say-
security set up, but this is more of like the immediate action because you need as many guns in the fight as you possibly can. That's just my opinion.
Lots of action just to get in there and start popping.
Giving these guys enough ass so that where they can assault through and not take as many casualties.
I think this will work.
Would we decide on if we go one by one by one?
What do you mean?
Say it all over again in a uniformed order. That way we can actually say it.
To the other group, you mean later?
Correct.
Probably just come to a consensus and summarize it.
Yeah, Northern squad. They moves for suppressor fire to the north. Southern squad suppressor fire to the west side of.
Yeah, just a lift and shift. So finding the trace element, getting that 15-degree offset off of that trace element, and then suppressing and lifting and shifting as they go, or shifting and lifting. And obviously, this squad's in control of the SPF, so they're going to be calling out the shift fires and lift fires. But
yeah,
it's fucking dicey, man. Like, you're already in a bad position
Yeah.
because you have these elements that, while they can mutually support, it is more difficult for them to mutually support. But yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be bunched up. Like, you don't want to be on top of each other where the enemy can fix more of your friendlies. But you want to be, like, in a position where you can mutually support each other and fill these gaps, right?
I think right now, if this happens in game, it will be happen too fast for anyone to recognize, and just our squad was just wiped too fast for this.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the point of going through these exercises, so you kind of build that muscle memory. So when you
Mhm.
encounter it in game,
Yeah.
it's just you're
Recognize
just
those
reacting.
issues.
You're not sitting there getting bogged
Yeah.
down, and thinking it through.
With the time I was in game, they nobody called out the direction of fire, so I was a machine gunner. I need to lay suppressive. I have no idea where it's coming from because we were
And
probably surrounded
and
almost
really
270 degrees.
dependent upon how many guys are here, right? Like how many enemies, and like if we're down 3 guys, it's really gonna be finicky. But since we've taken casualties, we know we're in a kill box, and so we need to assault through.
Yeah.
But let's say that we're not. Like, we didn't take any casualties. We see these guys setting up on this tree line down here, right? We see them getting set up, and they're engaging this southern squad. What we can do is we can set up a battle drill 1 alpha. So we'll have the support by fire element get online, and then start suppressing the enemy, and then have like the Bravo fire team conduct their battle drill behind them, and then we're pushing them out here
Yeah.
in this ODA. Just food for thought. But since we've taken casualties, that's kind of like we're being decisively engaged at that point. Once you take, more than 2 casualties in less than 5 seconds, less than 10 seconds, you know that you're being decisively engaged by an enemy, and you need to
And time. Jump back up to training room 1, gentlemen, with your plan ready to go. Seesaw planning. Can either Cly or Gator drag fractured up here? He might be AFK. Or he got off. Never mind. Disregard. All right. Cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get one representative from training room 1, one representative from training room 2. Each side will get 5 minutes to explain essentially what they're doing. If you need to stream your screen, by all means, please do so. And then what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're just not going to say a word. We're going to let them get it all out for that 5-minute period. Both sides first, right? Then we will circle back and then hit them with any questions. And I'm going to set some ground rules here. You are attacking the idea not the person, not the team. And when I say attack, I'm saying you are asking questions for further understanding, not because you want to sound smart and not because you want to make them look dumb. You want further clarification. And you're not making recommendations yet. We'll get there soon. That'll be at the very end. But right now, let's get some representative from Team 1 to go ahead and pop their stream up. Is that going to be you, Soul? I see you've already put your
I'm
stream.
cool with it unless anybody else really wants to do it.
Nah, go for it.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and watch Soul Wipe's stream so he can show us his idea or their team's. All right. The clock. Stand by. 3, 2, 1. Brief.
All right, cool. So this is us, obviously. My first thing is having everyone return fire like their life fucking depends on it, because it does. So as much as possible, Mad Minute, make them fear for their lives, make sure they're not coming to advance on us. Be unlikely that this team is. So you have, at least someone watching security this way, but most of your effort is directed here. And pretty much what we were discussing is that while it's really tempting to move this team up here to ask for them to flank in behind, there's a lot of risk involved because we don't know where that third squad is. They could be set up to ambush them anywhere here. And even if they are successful, right, in getting here, they're set up in a perfect spot to just be L-shaped again by these two forces. And presuming you're withdrawing, they're going to be even more isolated than you were. So again, what I'm doing is getting my guys shooting, having like one fire team leader direct it and somebody else watch this way. We ideally get some kind of suppression. We ask these other two squads to draw their attention. We don't have this team move in for the same reason that this team isn't, because they're going to be really isolated. Plus, this is a big open area to run through, and they have the high ground here. So even though these teams are far away, we're having them light up everyone because they'd be in a bad situation otherwise. So it's just, really using all of your assets available to you, whether that's HE, rockets, heavy machine guns, whatever. So once we achieve that, everyone's engaging, we're setting up a big smoke screen as much as possible, not just right in front of us, and before we break contact, so that it obscures as much of the enemy's vision as possible. Once that's achieved, we are booking it. I believe the consensus was southeast, because we have this hill here shielding us to the enemy from the north, and this is just like our closest patch of trees, like 200 meters away. And I think the general idea after that is to just continue the break to contact. So here, personally, I think you kind of have to give up your casualties, and ideally you'd be bounding back, having one team, like one fire team, suppress another one, dip out of here. But it may just be in your best interest also to get the fuck out of there while these teams are suppressing on there. These squads are trying to figure out what's going on. From my training room, did I miss anything major? Anything that you guys had that I didn't include?
The only other thing was that if you pull southeast, they probably have to skyline.
Yes.
To shoot you as you chase you as you run away to that tree line, so the southern squad can suppress from there.
Wouldn't say necessarily.
They're a little bit higher.
Yeah, I mean they're still in that forest, right? But the idea is if they really wanted to come after you, they would be in a very dangerous position. And then I think this is our squad. We can't exactly control what these guys are doing, but I think the idea would be to reconsolidate as a platoon elsewhere. Maybe these guys go back here because they have the hill or something. But the point is, we don't want to leave them where they are and just in a bad position to get isolated once again. So yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have anything, please go for it. I don't want it to just be my voice.
Yeah, you guys got 1 minute, training room 1.
The only other thing is you might be able to use that northern squad to suppress the northern enemies from their own tree line without going across any open, because they're above them. They can probably just spray down into the trees and make those northern enemies. So
100%.
They won't
sorry
leave,
that I didn't make that clear. Yeah, I wouldn't
takes the
want
pressure
them to
off the
leave.
central.
Yeah, you could make that gamble.
You wouldn't
but
cross that
personally, I
open
wouldn't
ground
ask
and be
them to.
brave.
Wouldn't want
As soon
them
as
to.
that northern squad crosses that open ground, you're like committing to that entire fight, which means everyone dies if it goes wrong.
Yeah, and this squad's already, remember, at a disadvantage. They've taken casualties and they're getting L shapes. Like, they can't really do a whole lot of anything.
And time. All right. So if you have any notes and you want to finish writing those down for Training Room 1's plan, go ahead and do that now. While that happens, Training Room 2, who's going to be your spokesperson briefing? And please stream if you are.
You want me to do it, boys?
Nominate Ice.
Yeah, please do it, Ice. Go to Ice's stream. Again, reiterating, just everyone keep them sweet little lips closed. Let him brief for his full 5 minutes, and then we'll go back to Squad 1 we'll go back for Team 1 to get questioned by Team 2 and vice versa. And Ice, are you ready? I can't believe you had
Ready.
that up. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So basically, what we're going to be doing is our RTR for our squad west. We are being decisively engaged. We've taken 3 casualties. Don't know if they're ambulatory, but what we're going to do is we're going to immediately get online and start assaulting through this western squad. Me as a squad leader, I'm going to make sure that my fire teams are online, and that my fire team leaders are taking control of their fire teams and assaulting through. With that, I obviously know that I'm being engaged from the north. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to notify the southern squad of where the enemy force is, either through ATAC or through grid reference, or just through dead reckoning from my position, a polar from where I am. What they're going to be doing is providing a support by fire, an immediate kind of hasty support by fire, where they're obviously this squad is focused on us right now, so they are more than likely online, and so this squad leader should know that, and they're going to be providing enfilade and plunging fire into their line, and they're going to be shifting and lifting as we push to our LOA. So this is going to be our LOA. During that time, obviously, I'm in the back. I'm going to be notifying this northern squad of the enemy squad that is to our direct north. Kind of disregard this. This is really if they get to this position in their LCC and they can't decisively engage this squad, and then they'll do some bounding Overwatch to get across this LDA. But essentially what they're going to be doing, this northern squad's only responsibility is going to be suppressing and fixing this northern squad as we're assaulting through, using good terrain, concealment cover, and then decisively engaging and destroying this element. Some of the reasons that we decided to assault through this western element is due to the ammo that we have on station. We're yellow on ammo. We've taken casualties, so we're being decisively engaged. If we bound out to the southeast, either one of these squads can maneuver and engage us as we pull back, and neither of these elements can give us the correct amount of support by fire for that withdrawal. And so really and truly the safest thing to do, we are obviously still going to be taking casualties assaulting through this element, but we want to finish the gunfight quickly just due to the ammo consumption that's already happened and the casualties sustained since we are being decisively engaged. Once we reach our LOA, since there is no other known threat inside of this clump of trees, we're going to have the southern squad are going to be pushing up and getting online with us as we push to this LCC, and then start providing a support by fire element on this northern squad, and then deciding on how we're going to negotiate this L shape that we have the enemy in. So either I can withdraw this northern squad so that I can do a Badger 1 Alpha and my squad can go around on the left-hand side, or this element can cross the LDA depending on our ammo consumption, how effective our suppressive fire is, and have them push east to west, or we can go west to east. Is there anything I missed, Team 2? Just making sure we have good security on this southern element, making sure that we at least have eyes on the ODAs surrounding this element. Same goes with up here, just so that we're not surprised by another squad. Obviously, the squad that we are in is really focused on assaulting through. Anything I missed, Team 2?
Don't think so.
Oh, I did miss something.
I got one. It's
Go for it, bud.
This hook going up to that northern hostile element, we still don't know where that third enemy squad is.
For sure. Yep.
That's it.
Cool. I would say that the only thing I'd add, and this is I kind of glazed over it because it's just a part of the immediate action with this close contact, is exploiting as many frags as possible as we're assaulting through. Just trying to look bigger for a smaller element, and that's all we got. If that motherfucker went AFK when I was briefing, I'm gonna be pissed.
This is when you're supposed to clap for this silence.
Oh, sorry. I have been muted this whole time. Nope, I was watching. So we're gonna go ahead and move now to the devil's advocate portion, right? And what now is gonna happen is team 2, you just went for your brief, but you are going to plays devil advocate or just clarify, not devil's advocate, I misspoke, not devil's advocate, clarifying questions of anything either A, you didn't understand, or B, you just want clarification as to the purpose behind why they did what they did. Same thing, we'll do 3 minutes this time. Again, attack the idea, not the person. Just simple, hey, why did you do this? Why did you feel the need to do this? This, that, and the third. So sold. You don't really. Oh, you have your stream up, yes?
Yeah, I just put it up again.
Okay. All right. Cool. So and this is going to be a back and forth. This is a conversation, right? So, I will not put a time limit to this because I want this to be productive. Try not to speak over each other, guys. All right, go ahead, guys. Whoever wants to go first.
Real fast, did I mention the smoke screen in the group X with everyone when both teams were? Okay, cool.
I do have a question.
Yep.
So your team's basically providing smoke to the west and then withdrawing to the southeast, correct? Like the overarching, that's the end state, right?
That's the idea, yeah.
So my question is that you're popping smoke to your west.
Oh, I see. It's not going to conceal you anymore.
My question is your element is already being decisively engaged, and there's no, you're not being able to pop smoke with mortars. You're not able to launch it with 40 millimeters. So like it's just going to be like a throwing distance, 30 yards, 40 yards.
Yep. From
your position. Do you feel like that would break all decisive engagement? And
no, I definitely think you would still be taking fire. Sorry, I'll let you finish. My bad.
No, that was it. I was just, as far as like you're being decisively engaged, you're in an L-shaped ambush, essentially. Like, I guess my concern with the plan is that you're popping smoke where the enemy can. You're not going to be able to break contact from that western enemy, and they're going to be able to move through the smoke and close the distance as you're moving out of this tree line through an ODA.
Yeah, you also can't see what they're doing. Yeah, that makes sense to me because there's nothing really stopping them from rolling to this LOA and getting you while you go this way. I definitely think that's a hole in the plan.
Well, yeah, but on the flip side of it, you've got that suppressing fire coming from the south squad.
Yeah, they did.
So that may help too.
And if you look at the elevation, you're going from like roughly 160 down to 150 as well. It's a bit of a downslope. You're able to break line of sight a little bit. Yeah. And the alternative is you go west, and as soon as you stand up, you're going to lose 2 more of your 6 dudes, and suddenly you're a fire team running into a squad.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a really hard situation because this team's somewhere they never should have been, right? Like they have no way out of here. That's really good. So like I think your decision to take the fight is a very good one. I do think even if you like do that and you lose, these guys are still able to withdraw. So you're not necessarily. It's not as big a loss as it could be. Yeah.
The other thing as well is when you go southeast,
you would have he's going to do is light up their world and like make it so they could move forward.
So one thing to consider too,
though, is that
the only problem that I have with assaulting with the squad that is actively engaged is we have something that can change the tide of the battle. We have 2 supportive elements that did not fire yet. My point, I was team 1. The point that we got is if we can slow down the tempo as enough for the team to the south and team for the north to provide some support by fire, because if they are in an L shape, the southern team is providing support by fire into an enemy that is in a firing line, so they are support by fire in an enfilade. Same thing for the northern side. So they are supporting by fire a squad that is actively engaged, low on manpower, low on ammo, low on everything. Basically, they are almost fucked. But if they can stall the fight for a couple of maybe 30 seconds, let's just 30 seconds, the southern side and the northern side are suppressing, so they effectively pin the northern enemy and the enemy that is actively engaging. Now we used our vote because the enemy has a vote. We also have one. We had 2 surprise squad that can support us in that situation. So now the enemy has to rethink their plan. Oh, right, we had a squad in an L shape. Now we are in the L shape because we also are in an L shape on the L shape. That's like L shapeception. But we, yeah, it's I'm kind of going far in my mind, but I think you guys are understanding that the first squad is getting L shape, but the enemy is in an L, and our support element that are not engaged yet are also on an L shape on the enemy. So we can press that advantage to try to help the squad that is actively engaged, because if the squad that is actively engaged just decide to battle drill 4, react to an air ambush, they assault in the last 10, we are supporting nothing at the end because they're gonna die. They are already under, like, they are, unless a miracle, they are at 66% of effectiveness, and they're trying to assault through a full squad that just caught them by surprise. The enemy has every advantage on the middle squad, but we can use that surprise to our advantage by using our element that are unknown at that moment.
Yeah, I think what we all should do is first agree on what type of ambush this is, though, right? Because is this actually a near ambush, or is it outside of that range? Because if we look at the map, they're approximately 80 to 100 meters apart from each other. The two.
I think it's like 150-ish because this is 100, but maybe less than that.
All right, okay, so about 100 to 150.
Something like that, yeah. That's just my
You have to also remember
So-
that the blue 4 tracker is on the squad leader.
We don't
Okay.
know if all the men are pushed
so
up
maybe
forward
you're-
or the men
they're
are pushed
straight
up forward
from-
more. I mean,
yeah.
they could be within
The
nade
wood
range.
patch is approximately like 200 meters. So if the blue is back against the tree line, or let's say a quarter in, and the others are, let's say, a quarter in also, there's approximately 100 to 80 meters.
All right, so
But
could we say that they're outside of grenade range of each other?
looks
I would
like it,
say
but
so, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All
All right,
depends on
so
where the trace
so now
elements are.
I'll say it again.
So it all depends on where the trace elements are. I mean,
Mhm.
these, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, if they're 100 meters from each other, they're out of grenade range unless they're fucking. Damn.
Okay, so
But
if we
no-
all agree that they're out of grenade range, right? And the current situation is that they already took 3 casualties, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Even though that squad on the south is there to suppress, they may not have exact location of where the enemy squad is. So
Sure, yeah.
even though they're shooting in that direction, they may not be able to effectively suppress them. Right?
Agreed, yeah.
Also, is that friendly squad shooting way uphill? And so it's possible that, half the red squad is sort of like over the crest.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, even with this map, you aren't able to tell like what kind of it does look like this is pretty steep actually with these lines being together. So they may not even have a firing solution here. That's why, I mean, you would pray you have the best grenadiers in the world here, lobbing some shit here. But beyond that,
Yeah.
it looks like a pretty graduated slope though. 130,
my only
140,
question
150.
is this part. Okay, yeah, fair point. It's maybe it like steepens here, but it's not so significant that
It looks like it's doable to shoot in the squad up there.
Yeah, this
And then
is maybe
also,
like
like-
2 stories difference, or sorry, that's meters. So fucking, is that like 6 stories then? Yeah, 60
Another
feet.
thing we should consider too, even with the terrain though, is that the squad in contact, with everything that's going on, they may not be able to gain all that context of the terrain and what they have to their advantage, right? They already took 3 casualties. They're probably dug in. They performed their react to contact. They probably communicated with the platoon commander already. I mean, platoon leader, platoon commander already. The platoon, they probably already established that they can't maneuver on the squad that they're in direct contact with, right? So based off of those that if else then that logic, those conditions, they've already met the conditions that they cannot assault that enemy squad. So the only alternative that they really have at that point, the platoon commander at that point, his options would be, okay, well, if they can't effectively suppress that enemy squad, then I have to send another squad to help them suppress, right? But the problem is that on the north, there's a enemy squad that can intercept our northern squad. On the south, although we don't know where that additional squad is, or we're even aware of that additional squad, there's still an ODA that they have to cross, and that enemy squad in the brush will have clear lines of sight, like plausible that they'll have clear lines of sight on them as they cross the ODA to support. Then once that happens, then we still have to send the squad on the north in order to do some type of flanking attack if those 2 squads, once they link up, can effectively suppress that enemy squad. The problem is that they'll still have to fight through that northern enemy squad. So in that situation, the more that we think about it, there's the likeliness of us taking more casualties on that first squad in contact increases. So we kind of have to like cut our losses and say, all right, we cannot. So there's too much going on for us to be effective. We have to pop smoke.
10
Yeah,
seconds,
so
if
I
may,
guess
real fast. I
yeah,
guess if
that'll be last thing.
yeah, last thing. Sorry. Maybe, you know, with this not being the most effective firing position, going back to Ice's original question with the smoke not stopping these guys from going to the edge of the forest, maybe you would ask this team to assign like a machine gun and like a rifleman or somebody to here so that they can at least put out this fire before you enter this ODA. I mean, it's going to take a lot of time to develop that situation, but that's just the last thing, I guess.
I had one more thing to say as well.
All right, and then
quick.
we'll swap over.
Yeah, so any assault by the northern or southern like friendly squads really leaves you open to getting them fucked by that third squad you don't know about. Because if you look at where those northern squads, southern squads could move, the southern squad, if they take that natural line through that tree line to their northwest to try and support, they might run directly into it. If the northern squad assaults west, assaults west, and the enemy squad is in that clump of trees right at the top near that 152, like on that black solid line. If they try and assault that squad there, they're going to die in that crossing that open. So it's like any aggression without knowing where that third squad is a huge risk.
Yep. So I'm hearing a lot of good back and forth. This is good. The gears are turning, right? The tactical decision making is happening. The kill chain is shortening, right? One thing I would like to point out. This is actually I'll save it for the end for the conclusion.
May I ask one question?
Yes.
When you guys retreat and all that, how are you guys going to try and link up with the other your other squads, or is that even a plan? Are you just full on telling
definitely
everyone to back up? Because there's a lot of
there
open
to be a
space in that nearest tree line.
Are you talking about to this one? Sorry.
Yes, because you said you were gonna fall back to that tree line. How are you boys thinking of linking up with everyone else? Because there's a lot of open space between. Yes.
Yeah, sure. So ideally, I mean, at this point, I think you can just kind of. It is a lot of open space, but maybe you have these guys go to this tree line here. I think.
I didn't know if it was just you guys were thinking an all-out, everyone backs out thing, or if you guys were.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you want to do it.
Depends on what happens.
3.
I'll tell you what, we can hit that portion. If you guys want to continue that, we can hit it after this. But I do want to get to the other side and flip it, because if I don't stop it, it's going to be, you know, the what if game forever. The what if game forever. You know what I'm saying?
I thought
let's swap.
I thought his question was going to be like, he said, when you guys withdraw from that tree line, how are you guys going to live with yourself? That's what I thought.
All right, let's pull up ice. If you want to pull up your side, we'll give team 1 a chance to ask for any clarifying questions if they didn't understand the decision point you guys made. Remember, you're asking questions for clarification, not trying to do a haha got you, that was a dumb decision. You're just, hey, why did you choose to do this kind of thing.
And go.
I can go ahead
can't
for
load the stream right now. He's choosing.
I kind of already said my question and answering yours, but if you send your middle element as to assault and they get wiped in the next minutes, what do you do after when your south element and your north element are very split up, even more than it is right now, and you know that the enemy are in a platoon, more compact in a platoon, and are able to support themselves?
So you're asking that from a platoon leader's perspective and not the squad leader perspective.
I was going to ask that same question.
Because if this squad gets wiped, I'm dead. I have no longer, like, that what if is
we have no say.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yep.
That's Maniacs.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
How do you see that central squad assaulting west going? Like, what is your mind's eye for how that is going to work? Because you're being shot at from two directions. You're probably suppressed. Like, in my mind's eye, you go, let's start to assault, and the first guy stands up and he eats a bullet in the face. The second guy gets 15 meters closer, fires some shots, eats a grenade, and then four of you manage to get to the actual enemy unit.
Yeah, so I mean, the briefing, right, and I just want to reiterate what Ward 80 says, we have 3 casualties. There was no word if they're ambulatory, so they could still be up, they're just wounded. And so the thought process is I am taking direct contact from my west and from my north. So this leaves in the third grade math of I am in an L, and I have an ODA to my back, and I have an ODA to myself. Right. So the only course of action that I can do, especially since I'm low on ammo and I'm already taking casualties, and so kind of what goes on in my brain is I've taken 3 casualties, so 3 people's gotten shot or shrapnel, and so that means I am being decisively engaged, especially if those casualties are in a rapid succession, and obviously I'm hearing rifle reports to the north and the west. The only thing I can do to get out of this kill zone is assaulting through that enemy and then coordinating with my northern element and my southern element to fix the enemies that are engaging me. And so what I'm expecting is that we are going to take casualties, but we have to assault through to the LOA to either break this unit or we die. But if we stay here and try to fight it out, we're still in the L, we're going to die. If I pull back to the west, I'm going to be engaged by this element, and this element is going to push to this northeastern side and walk us down from that cover and concealment.
Hey, Ice, did you consider if maybe the unknown squad may have been attached to the squad that you're in direct contact with?
I have a suggestion afterwards as well.
Okay. So with what we've been given, what we know, I can only act on what we know. And what I know is that I'm in an L shape, and it really doesn't matter if that third squad is here, or if that third squad's here, or if the third squad's here. It does not matter. 2 squads have me decisively engaged in an L. It does not matter where that other element is. My immediate action is assaulting through this contact.
As well as we will no longer be in the L because we're hoping the enemy will not shoot us and their friendlies if we engage them closer.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense.
I had a my suggestion to your plan is
So
under that. It's really low res because it's a stream, but under the middle, like the most central friendly marker, is that say 161?
It does say 161.
Because the bottom of the forest is like roughly 150. Could you just even like
talking about this
shift
one?
the southern half? No, like the top right says 160, and then that
164?
one at the bottom
He's-
left says 141. The bottom one
He's
at the bottom
getting there.
right, it
You're
says
getting there,
156.
Gandalf.
Could you not just go south 50 meters? It means the guys in the north can't see you, and then they've got a one-on-one fight.
Yeah.
And then you have a little, well, not a full L, but you have half an L on this remaining squad. You've
Yeah,
broken
yeah,
contact with the
definitely.
northern ones.
Yep.
For sure.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you might
Yes.
even
Yes.
win.
Okay, and I want to clarify, right? And I'm looking through as the lens. I'm
Of a
looking
squad
through the
leader.
lens of a squad leader. I can tell my fire team leaders, and I want to be very careful when I say this because this may not be applicable depending on the caliber of fire team leader you get. I can tell them, hey, we've got contact close west. I need you to assault through. And those fire team leaders, if they're competent, they will see the terrain association and they'll see they're shielded from this northern element if they push on the west, the southern side of the tree line going west, right? But as a squad leader, my macro objective is to assault west and destroy this squad with the support by fire element, giving enfilade and plunging fire on this squad. But you're
that makes
absolutely
sense.
correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
My thought though, if you move that bit south, you move that little bit south,
Mhm.
you don't even need to assault. You can just commit to the gunfight. You don't even need to take the risk of going into them. If you move that little bit south, break that, you can commit to the gunfight with the support of the southern squads, and then you assault when you got the fire superiority. I feel like
I agree with
assaulting
you.
too
I-
early
I-
will just get you killed. Like you have a chance to win
I
the
agree-
gunfight and suppress them, and that's when you make the assault. If you go too west
I
too
agree.
early,
I agree with you on the direction of movement, on the direction of the assault. I do not want to become stagnant because if I become stagnant, I can be decisively engaged and then maneuvered upon. And so I
you
want
wouldn't
to
be
take
there super
all of the
long.
initiative.
So
My
I
point is
have.
just
Let
that-
me go ahead, finish, and then finish Gandalf, because you and I are it's on the tip of your tongue. You're right there.
You're right. But if you just
Oh
move
yeah,
to break
I
the
should
line
say
of
I should
sight-
say this is a point that was brought up in the team room that I failed to mention, but was
Don't
if
you get me
if
with
for
some
whatever
random
reason.
shit at the end of a 10-minute conversation, you piece of
No,
shit.
you're good. You're good. You're good. What my point was is if there was terrain, and we talked about it up here as far as terrain, but if terrain allowed, if I wasn't decisive, if I could push, during our assault, if we were not being decisively engaged from this northern element, either due to the suppressive fire of this northern element or due to the terrain and them not being able to engage us, we can conduct a battle drill 1 alpha on them. And this lift and shift will go, or you can take it to the right side, just depending on the terrain. But
Yeah, that's fine. My only point is that you need to be winning the gunfight before you do that.
That
'Cause
was my
You're
question,
coming from the
yeah.
place where you're losing the
But-
gunfight. You need to be winning
so-
it before you start the proper maneuver onto them. That was my only last point. Is like the
Alright.
assaults. Once you, never mind. That was the same thing in a different version.
Quick rebuttal to that is sometimes being really aggressive and maneuvering into the enemy will win you the gunfight. That would be my only rebuttal, and that's
Okay.
completely situational independent. That's all I got.
Let
you probably-
me.
You're on the high
Probably-
ground there too.
We would agree if we were both there at the same time. I reckon. Like in the actual game.
I'll be
It's
dead.
much
I'm the
easier to
casualty,
fight.
bro. I'm the casualty. That's how it goes.
All I'm
Okay.
all
All
I'm
right.
thinking is the
So
red is gonna rotate to their northwest, so they get out of the fire of the
yeah.
supporting
So
element.
yeah. So here, let me show you guys something real quick, and the reason why I brought this specific scenario up is because what I wanted to see what the different ideas would be, and who's actually going to think about something other than attacking, like going for the attack, right? So there's something called tactical patience, and letting, otherwise known as layman's terms, situation development. Now, here are some questions I want you to ask yourself, okay? Which is what can I do with what I have? What is around me? And who can help me? If you ask yourself those 3 questions, we can instantly do this, right? I know that I am in contact instantaneously, right? Obviously we are not there boots on the ground, so we have to go top down, kind of RTS style. we know that the rifle report and the engagement that we're receiving is definitely outside hand grenade range, definitely farther than 50 meters, right? So I'm going to draw right here. So we need to know the distance. We'll kind of work with what's around me. So I know there's enemy around me to my west, and he's outside of hand grenade range. I know there's enemy to my north because I'm receiving contact from them as well. Definitely outside of hand grenade range. So, I already know that distance is my friend in the moment. It's snapshot, quick, taking contact left, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, shit, contact right, da-da-da-da. But I know, and we all can probably agree, that we would all be able to, within at least the first 5 seconds, be able to recognize, okay, the contact isn't within hand grenade range. It's not within 50 meters. With that information, right, I was probably, like we all know, we probably are aware of our position, or else how would we have gotten here in the first place, right? Now, in Bellum, we don't have contour lines on the ATAC, but you have your Mark 1 eyeballs, which you can use as you're traversing to recognize the terrain, right? So I know I have a friendly, and now we're going to move to essentially the terrain around me. So I've asked myself, what enemy is around me? Boom, boom. What terrain is around me? I know on my way here, right, that there is, at least to my east, there's an incline. There's an incline right here. And it gradually slopes down this way, like such. And it gradually slopes down this way, like such. Okay. So you are effectively, let me change the color here so we can kind of get an idea. Blue. We are, for lack of a better term, at roughly the highest point, right about in here, the fight, right? We can also, with our Mark 1 eyeballs, in the situation, we know we're in a tree line, and we've all played Bellum, and we know how thick the tree line is, and how visibility past 25 meters is very minimal, right? Does anyone disagree with that statement? Let's start there. Okay, no one disagrees with that statement. So we're all on the same page here. So I know where the enemies are roughly. I know where I am at. I know what's immediately around me. I also know, right, because communication, right, these are all implied and inherent things, right, because of Bellum, and this is the scenario we're working in. I know that there's a friendly position here, and I know there's a friendly position here. Okay. My immediate action is going to be, I need to gain fire superiority as quick as I can, not to necessarily to win the fight, but to buy time, right? I need to buy time to allow me more time and space for decision making, okay? And so you both, and this answer is not the right answer. This is just how I would do it, right? This is not the right answer. This is just how War Daddy would do it. Both of you had 50% apiece, in my opinion, of what the correct, or not the correct way, what the most efficient way would be. I want to use the terrain for my advantage. I want to dictate what the terrain does for me, not what the terrain does to me. So I'm going to use the terrain in this instance. Well, now we're going to switch over to the action parts. We're going to use the distance between the enemy positions. We're going to use the fact that we are on roughly the highest points within the general AO in a linear fashion. And we're going to use our friendly positions as our secondary weapon systems. What do I mean by that? What I mean is contact left, bang, 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 bang. Snap, 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 boom, over the net. We're taking two friendly down north, one friendly down west. I'm in a bad position. I look around. I know that I can push south. And I know I have friendlies that can support me, not through their not through where they're occupying close to me, but the fact that their weapon systems can still reach out and touch somebody. Okay. I now can traverse this way, right? I know your first question. Oh, but War Daddy, you're an ODA. Absolutely, I'm in an ODA. But what am I doing with this ODA? Pay attention to the elevation. I'm using this feature here, this hilltop, to mask myself and negate this northern enemy. I don't have to deal with this. I can let the 1-1 for this instance worry about this problem now. No longer my problem. My now immediate 5-meter target, my problem is how do I mitigate the ODA now? Well, that's when 1-3, hey 1-3, I need you to fire straight north and immediately to my west. Now you could say, oh, War Daddy, that's not going to stop him from shooting at you. Ah, look how much distance of vegetation is between the enemy and the ODA. Not even myself, but the ODA and the enemy, on top of the change in elevation. Adding in the friction of I have a support by fire, essentially for what it is, covering my bound back to a different alternate position in cover and concealment, giving me more time and space between. I'm sorry, there's a lot of drawing here, to give me breathing room. In the moment, and we all know, casualties are not the priority. What is the priority? The priority is being able to live to fight another day. Rounds down range is the best medicine. The other term, dead bodies, will attract dead bodies. Okay? So, with all that being said, the end state, and if I were to do this off rip, real time, this is what it would sound like. All right? Snap, snap, snap. I'm getting, contact left, engage, engage, engage. 1-2, this is 1-1 Alpha. I have 2 casualties on the north side. 1-1, this is 1-1 Bravo. I have 1 casualty on the west side. Boom, 3 casualties instantly. I got to move. Roger. Hey, go ahead and pop smoke west as far as you can. Throw hand grenades. Banana peel right to left, north to south. We're getting to the southern edge of the tree line. Hey, 1-3, I need you to start suppressing west of my location immediately. The boys start moving. All right, hey, start loading the tree line. Start loading the tree line. Hey, 1-3, rapid rate, rapid rate. We're about to open it. We're about to hit the open danger area. Copy. I hear them go to rapid rate. That's when I start echelon troops across. And now I have put that time and space. I automatically I am inherently assuming a ass load of risk by doing this, right? But we have to ask ourselves, what's around me? What can I do with what I have? And then who can help me? With those 3 questions, I have a decent idea of what I can do rather quickly. Now, the idea of pushing the fight, moving east to west, not a bad idea. I'm pretty on board with it, right? My only concern, which was the concern the other guys brought up, Ice, for Team 2, is the distance between right here. That was my only concern. I'm not saying it's wrong, right? If you have the ability to push through, push the fight. Speed, surprise, violence of action, right? But my only concern is the distance. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the next question. Is me pushing the fight right now worth it, or is breaking contact to link up with another unit or give me time and space worth it, right? And it depends. There's so many other variables. What if I have incompetent fire team leaders? What if I have no grenades? What if I'm out of smokes, right? All of these things play a role. So those are valid points and valid questions. The other concern with Team 1's thing that I had was you guys wanted to break immediately southeast, but you had no plan of how to sustain your traverse of such a large open area. You would have to, there's just a lot of space that you guys got to cover rather quickly. Definitely. Right? So I think that both ideas were good. I think both ideas had parts that can be improved upon, but I think both ideas also had very good strengths, right? On the one hand, break contact. We need to get out of here, right? On the other hand, take the fight to the enemy, fuck them up, right? And those, the gears are turning, guys. The gears are turning. That's all we're looking for. The gears are turning. Now, without all that being said, is there any questions over anything right now? I'm trying to make sure we all get to bed at a decent time. It is because it's Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns for Team 1, Team 2, or myself?
Have you ever told someone they've done a bad job?
Have I ever told someone they've done a bad job?
He's at SOI for sure.
I have definitely used words that I cannot use. I've used choice words. with people. I have there is okay, so like it's hard for me to tell anyone here that you've done a bad job because it's like it's impossible with scenarios like this. I can't even say there's a perfect way, right? Because there's so many unknowns. We can control, and then we try and play to that. So, again, that what if game can go down a very deep rabbit hole.
To be honest, unless you're training with the same squad over and over and over again, you're cooked anyway.
Yeah.
This is all immediate action drills. Like the other squad leaders, your fire team leaders are not fucking Napoleon.
No,
so,
no,
I
they're
can
not.
imagine
It's definitely
saying something
tough
on
when you-
command comms, and the other squad leaders go, "Huh?
Yeah,
You
when
mean you're
War
being
brought
shot
up
I'll
started
settle for
healing, I was
another
like, oh
A.
shit.
You said what, basic?
I said when you brought up the squad to start peeling, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that was
right.
pretty
So
tough.
this is again, remember the what ifs, right? This is all based on the fact that I have competent team leaders, squad leaders, and adjacent squad leaders, right? That's why that plan is developed, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Ranger Regiment, Bravo 1, Round 2 on Sunday. I'm thinking that's the kind of platoon I have, right?
Yeah.
If you know, you know. But yeah, if there's no other questions for me or no other, topics you guys want to talk about in terms of command relationships, roles and responsibilities, task and purpose, what would it, you guys are free to go. I'll be hanging out here for a little bit, just to hang
got a
around.
quick question.
What's up, Hicks?
Just kind of bringing up something that happened just this past weekend. Usually my fire team, we just kept out of bad luck where a lot of our engagements, our squad lead was the first one to get hit and immediately go down. So like now you got 2 fire team leads. How do you kind of reorganize the squad? Who takes charge? Should the squad lead first designate one of the fire team leads to kind of be the secondary, kind of like his second in command? If he goes down, who's going to like reconstitute the squad and then reorganize
so that works.
to follow through?
Yeah, so essentially there's 2 ways to go about this. There's implicit or implied kind of succession of command, and then there's designated succession of command. So before he steps, he can identify someone specifically that he wants to take over the squad if he dies. That's designated succession of command. Implied succession of command is first fire team leader takes over the squad. Does that make sense? All right, good night, Goblin. Thanks for coming by, bud.
Actually, this happened to Goblin and I in the games on the Sunday.
Let her Goblin.
Our SL disconnected. He
Yeah,
got
so
kicked out.
if your immediate leadership dies or dips, and you didn't pre-designate who would succeed his command, it's going to be the first next echelon, which would be the first fire team leader. Now, if the first fire team leader is like, yo, I can't do that, I don't know what I'm doing, then be like, yo, second fire team leader is going to take it. What's up, Blue Cord? I got to get with you after this about more employment for and stuff like that. But
yeah, sounds good.
It's one thing I also noticed in these kind of scenarios is a lot of times it feels like when going through Bellum, like the squad lead goes down, I feel like a lot of fire teams, their impulse is to immediately drop whole security and then focus on trying to get the squad lead back up. Should they prioritize the previous task or reconstitute and cover?
No.
medic
Here,
and
I
squad
got
lead?
you. We're about to do something crazy. Hold on. Where is the video? I'm about to show you guys something insane right now. Hold on. I don't want you guys seeing what I look up on YouTube. There's be crazy stuff over there.
Yeah, because it's literally like the last match we played on Sunday. I was the
Show us your
medic,
DMs again.
and I was like reviving the squad lead like 4 times. There was the incident where he gets shot, I revive him, walk away 3 steps, turn around, he gets shot again. I'm like, God damn it.
What was it? Dead bodies, attract.
I mean, surely if it's in the balance, like the SL's just a casualty.
It was.
I mean, if you're losing,
but
if it's not going well, you might try and revive him and run away. That might be a play. But if it's just a normal fight, but he's still in the balance.
well,
you may
specific
not wanna prioritize
circumstances,
it.
like it was mostly we were pushing in to take advantage of a flank attack, right? So he gets downed, but the 2 fire teams are still pushing through and engaging the enemy. And me as the medic, I was kind of like in the rear middle of the formation. So I was just trying to prioritize getting them back up and into it while the rest of the fire teams were pushing through and still engaging the other team.
That makes sense.
Or Daddy,
I don't know what else you
are
would
you
have
looking for the video where the guy's loading ammunition, his buddy gets hit, Is that the one you're looking for?
It's when IDF were pushing into Gaza and they were fighting Hamas. You know what video I'm talking about?
I think so.
They're,
Yeah, stand
they're
by.
standing by a wall. Yeah, they're standing by a wall, dude.
Yep.
And the dude records his own death. God, that shit. I was like, that's what I showed my Marines. I was like, this is why we don't worry about casualties. Like, bounds down range is best medicine. Dead bodies attract dead bodies. The second you stop to try and help your buddy while rounds are still being fired, guess what you just did? Not only is his gun out of the fight, your gun is out of the fight, big dog. Yeah. Jersey, I can get with you after this, buddy. I just read your DM. I can get with you after this. Why are you guys
Thanks,
going
man.
crazy in the side chat with my... What are you guys doing? Oh my goodness. What do we got going on here?
You've become a meme.
I have, dude. I have become a meme. Oh, you guys are fucking. They sent the. Oh, did the rainbow flag one with me in it? That shit had me cracking up. That shit had me cracking up. Oh my god. Did you find it?
Screensaver, babe.
Catch up in chat.
What'd you say, babe?
So it's my new screensaver.
That's terrible.
That's
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Go to
You're welcome.
Quick.
Ice, did you make that? Ice man,
Already.
Yeah.
you're the goat for that.
Did he find the video? I don't know if he found the Timbro. Did you find it?
I'm looking for it. I remember seeing it on Conquer.
Man.
Can you describe it to me like it's in a graphic novel? Maybe like I'm
Down-
vision impaired.
Down to the shading style and the thickness of the lines.
What color were the cinder blocks the wall was made out of? And how many were there in your tight?
Dude, I'm telling you, this video, I was like, yep, that's the one. That's the one I got to show people for them to understand.
It was what?
Your
Hamas,
casualty.
right?
Yeah, it was
Are you
Hamas.
just trying to prove like that dead bodies attract dead bodies?
If you have a video, bro, drop it.
Look up Gunnery Sergeant Ryan Shane.
Oh,
that
you're
famous
talking
video.
about.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go.
It's on Funker.
Oh, is
It is
it?
on Funker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about the guy dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who got shot actually lived. The original guy.
No video found.
Damn, they took it
They
off
just
here?
say that. They just say that so you don't feel as bad. It's like killing the kids they're sleeping when your pet dog dies.
Just type in drag. Fallujah drag.
No, the guy who got shot and fell lived. The guy who went to go drag him died.
Oh, is this super old one from the Battle of Fallujah? Even I've seen this, if this is that
Yeah.
one. Where he's trying to drag him back. It's
He gets
depressing
shot.
as fuck, dude, and you see him fall over.
Yeah, dude, the black bag guy lives.
It's Gunny Shane.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is. You don't worry about casualties.
3 casualties off of 1.
Went to go drag his buddy. Went to go help the other buddy drag the buddy. What does this have to do with the picture?
Being
Well,
AI, this is
like-
definitely made by
I
AI.
don't think it was
doing
that
this video.
cold.
That guy got. Yep. There he goes down. Like, where's the final picture of it? Where are all 3 of them?
That's it. It's just not zoomed in.
Yeah, like, just long story short, gentlemen, tell your homies if they're sitting there and they're trying to be like, we got to pick up the casualty. No, fuck you. No, we need to win the firefight, because the second they start worried about casualties, they're done. It's it. It's over for them. Matter of fact, hold on. Watch this. I'm about to show you something crazy. I'm about to
Rounds
show you
on
some
range.
craziness.
It's the
very
best
first thing I
medicine.
tell my dudes when I go down is to ignore me and secure the area.
Well, dead bodies are there for a reason, right? Someone's looking.
Where did I?
Yeah, like if I go down, like you rarely are immediately uncon. So if you go down, just start broadcasting to your dudes. Finish the fight. You know, if they start.
It's like you wait till you get into a position where you can push past your casualties so that others moving up can triage.
That's fine. Get your rifle out. There's 2.
Address the threat.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right. See this? Okay.
We're in a firefight. The hat team is struggling with their Carl G.
They're gone.
Gonna press 6.
So I'm sitting here, right? I'm like, hey, let me get to cover conceal position to bandage. I'm not proning out. I hear contact close. I'm hoping that Vector goes down to my left. I'm not worrying about bandaging myself. I'm not worrying about bandaging my buddy. Finish the fight.
I got him, Reno. You good? Reno, you good?
That guy can't fucking aim. Holy shit.
Hey, I'm just better. I'm just better.
I'm yeah, I'm hit. I'm
right.
Copy. I'm working myself.
Right. And it's just one of those things where you cannot just don't worry about casualties, man. They're dead for a reason, right? They just gave the enemy like a morale boost. Let them lay there and think about what they did.
Hey, War.
Can I say the only time you might want to worry about cash? Oh.
Real quick, War. While you're at it, continue with these clips. Keep showing them and just narrate it out. Have a peek inside your mind.
Okay. All right.
Hey, he helps us out enough. Let's stroke his ego a little bit.
Can someone turn this into like a COD Modern Warfare edit like from 15 years ago?
I'll throw in some leaking apart.
Gotta remember the name
Click,
as
click.
audio.
I have
Alright, here we go.
fantastic footage after this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, and I'm digging. Let's just say a cautionary tale on body attracting
But not be
bodies.
these ones. But not be these ones. Quick.
All right. So basic.
Hey, grab your dude, swing left. Fine, get your rifle.
I don't know what this guy was doing. I'm trying to link up with the hat team. I actually did not see this guy.
Yes, we're chasing.
I see him. I'm like, what the hell? Fold. Night night.
Be advised, there's enemy in the tree line that I'm
trying to think. Nah, that's not a good one. To be honest, Mike, you might be able to
Meanwhile,
Yeah, I got a perfect one. Everybody witness.
Oh yeah, let's see.
You just want people doing medical.
Why are you laughing, Craig?
All right.
Behold, Cleese.
Was this me?
So, no, this is not you. This is somebody else. So this guy, right? Prone, wanting to engage everybody out, like these dudes in the trees, right? Watch.
On 1.
Red 2.
This guy has a beat on this guy, right? He's shooting. They hear a shot. They didn't react, right? And this guy is getting lucky with against that guy. Boom. Second guy. Boom. All right. One body turned into 2 already.
But wait, there's more.
I like him.
But wait, there's more.
Dude, this clip gets worse. Oh, you show this clip just keeps getting worse, man. This is only like
Yeah.
halfway through.
Yep. So they kind of exchange fire. Oh, everything's okay. You know, Ranger's a bit stuck in the town, trying to work the casualty. Gun team suppressing down this entire tree line. He's fixing himself. All right. Everything's fine and dandy.
Wait, someone's having your God damn it.
Just killing, dude. Smoking your own position.
It's 3 now. It's 3 now.
It gets worse. It gets worse. Don't worry, we're not at the end yet.
Yep. A random headshot hits him in the helmet. I'm suppressing 240. It gets even better. It gets even better. Because of the distance, he wakes up in a bit.
That's crazy.
Wakes up. Yep.
That's like my favorite part of the game is the unconscious feature.
Yeah. He wakes up. He's like, okay, I'm gonna keep on working this. Shoot at the bodies again. He's fixing himself.
Fuck, I don't know.
You see, they try to pop smoke. They try to pop smoke.
Get this in time.
But it's just the wrong angle. And they're fragging over there.
Hold on, you still up?
Okay. So I was like, this is gonna get even better. It's like going through the thing. You saw the name going down. So I was like, huh. Okay, this.
Look at the action shots right now.
Dude, it's so
sad, bro. Cautionary tale. Oh, fucking body attract bodies.
That's brutal.
Can you send this? Can you send this clip to somebody? There's somebody on the Discord that really needs this.
Oh
This guy wakes up somehow.
Looks over.
Bro,
Okay,
what
yeah,
happened?
Blaster, PMC Foley, Trim, Dakota, Bacon.
Yeah. We need to send it to
There's
we
a
gotta send it to
squirrel.
old boy.
Professionally looking at his fucking dead friends.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
He's shot in the
But
head.
yeah.
Jeremy Clarkson meme. He's like, "Oh no!"
But
There you
yeah.
are. Wakes back
Oh
up.
yeah, and as a little addition, while we PID. Wait, am I looking at it wrong? Hold on. Gotta make sure I have the right video. Oh.
Clay, I don't know how you
Yes,
keep
this
track
is
of
right.
all these
Whoa.
with your
Watch.
time and date number stamps is your only names.
Yeah, that was it. You gonna go back.
Oh, that was the reflect damage.
That's it. The damage bounce back. Anyway, the PID, guys.
That's funny.
Yeah, I should
Later.
rename these, honestly.
Tight.
Anyway,
But
that's it.
But yeah, you guys got anything else for me or anything like that? Yep. Later, Bert. Okay, dipped.
Later.
Thanks for training, War Daddy. Another good session, man.
Yeah, buddy. All right.
Yeah, just about bedtime.
Yeah.
Clee, do you have the clip where I convinced you to
In
take
the,
that single nade while you were reconning?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no worries.
What? The footage of what?
When you were reconning, when the entire Satyr element was on the bottom of the hill, like 20 meters away from half of the Ranger platoon. And
I need
you
to.
were
It's on
reconning,
YouTube somewhere, but I couldn't find the. I think that stream got cut or something.
All right, I'm gonna go
I
make.
found it
I'm
later on. It's
gonna,
in the last half of the number 3. I can find
Let's
it for you. But yeah, when you
I'm gonna go
walk
make
up
babies in the
Yeah.
toilet.
Oh, that's crazy.
Hmm.
Hey,
Enjoy yourself,
TFB, let's head over to our Discord real quick. We'll talk there.
Sounds good.
Roger that.
RIP.
All right.
GG's, guys. Thanks for showing up for the training session, everybody.
GG.